In today's video, we're going to be making a CI support, which is something that looks like this. Lord only knows what it actually does and what it is, but this is a CI support. So it's got a base with some holes drilled in it, and we've got a cylindrical kind of shape up the top there. It's not too hard to make, so let's go up to the file menu and start making it. So select a new document, choose a metric template and a standard millimeter part. From here, we'll start a new 2D sketch and choose the XY plane. We're going to draw a couple of circles to start with, but before we draw those circles, I want to project the y-axis, so the one that runs up and down, and the x-axis into this sketch, so we can use them as guides. So grab your Project Geometry tool up the top here, expand your Origin folder, and click on the x and y axis. And you'll see that the x and y axis highlight in yellow, and they're actually on our sketch now. They're going to be able to be used as guides. Press Escape to turn that Project Geometry tool off and simply close the Origin folder over here on the left. Grab your Circle tool now and we can start drawing in a couple of shapes. Okay, so level with the y-axis and somewhere up above the origin we're going to draw two circles. They're going to be concentric. One's 22 mil, the other one 44. Okay, so they've both got the same midpoint, making them concentric there. Once you've got those two circles drawn, grab your Dimension tool. We're going to click on the center point of those two circles and then the x-axis down the bottom here. And the distance we want the center point from the x-axis is going to be 53 mil. Press enter. You should have something looking like that. Next step, grab a Rectangle tool, and in this space on the left over here, just click and drag out a rectangle that is 125 for the width and 19 for the height. So a skinny long rectangle looking something like that. We're going to use this tool here, so the Collinear Constraint tool. And we're going to click on the base of the rectangle and then click on the x-axis. And what that's going to do is push our rectangle down so it's level with the x-axis. Final thing we need to do to this rectangle is get it right on this center line. So you've got the midpoint of this rectangle sitting on the center of this y-axis here. So a quick way to do that is grab your Dimension tool and just dimension this left edge of the rectangle and our center line here, this y-axis. And basically we want half of the rectangle on one side of the axis and half of our rectangle on the other side of the axis. So what I'm going to type in for the dimension is 125, which is the width of our rectangle, divided by 2. And simply press the green tick. And what that does is puts half of our rectangle on this side, half of our rectangle on that side. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is draw a few circles. I've got some more to come in that go at the top here. So grab your Circle tool again. We're going to draw two big circles up here that are 64 mil in diameter. And I'm going to do two little circles just down a little bit lower. Okay, so 26 mil and 26 mil. Okay, so two 64 mil circles up the top and two 26 mil circles down a little bit lower. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is use the coincident constraint to make the smaller circles coincide with the top of our rectangle. So let's grab our coincident constraint. So this one just here. Click on the center point of the little circle on the left and click on the top of the rectangle. Do the same for this circle over here. Click on the center point and then click on the top of the rectangle. Next up, we're going to grab our Tangent Constraint tool. We're going to click on the side of the rectangle and click on the circle. Now we want to do the same for this little circle, but I can see it's just pushed over to the right a little bit too much. What I want to do is get the center point of that circle and just drag it back over this way a little bit. Okay, and now we can do that tangent constraint. So grab your Tangent tool there, hit the right side of the rectangle and hit the circle. Okay, so you should have both your circles looking just like that. Their center points are level with the top of the rectangle and their edges run down the edge of the rectangle. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Next thing I'm going to do is use the Tangent Constraint again to make each of the smaller circles add a tangent to the larger circles. So still with this Tangent tool selected, let's click on the large circle, click on the little circle, click on the large circle, click on the little circle. And still with the Tangent tool selected, we're going to click on the large circle again and then click on this outer circle in the middle so it makes them touch. Do that for the other side as well. So we've now got all these circles touching one another looking something just like that. Okay, we're now going to use the trim tool to chop off the parts of the circles we don't need. So up here we've got the trim tool. Click on the outer part of these two big circles. That'll trim off those sections. I'm going to come into these smaller circles and just trim off the inside sections like so. And I think we've got our shape all finished. So let me zoom in so you can have a look at that. Okay, there's a lot of lines going on there, but hopefully you've got something looking like that. If you do, you can finish your sketch by pressing the green tick at the top. Just zooming back a bit so you can see what's going on. Now, next thing we're going to do is we're going to click Extrude. We're just going to extrude the rectangle at the bottom here. And its distance is going to be 63 millimeters. Once you've got that, just click on OK. And you'll notice that our sketch disappears. So to bring that back, you need to go over here to the Extrusion 1 folder and expand it. Right click on Sketch 1 and choose Share Sketch. And you'll see that your sketch comes back. Okay. Next we're going to do another extrude. And we're going to choose this bottom section here. Okay, if I swing it around you'll see what I mean. We're not extruding those circles, it's just this bottom section at the moment. And we want to extrude that at 19 millimeters. Okay, so not quite as far as the other one. And you can click on OK. And then we're going to do a final extrude on these circles here. And the distance is going to be 41 mil. And we'll press OK. Whoops. Cancel that. Let me try that one more time. I pressed something wrong. So extrude that circle. 41, and we'll choose this top option here. For some reason they've gone to the cut. We need it to this one here, so it actually comes out like so. That's looking pretty good. So what we'll do is we'll click on OK. You can see now that our shape's looking pretty good. This sketch that we shared before, I'm going to right click on that and turn its visibility off. So a lot of those lines disappear. Okay. Now we're going to do a sketch on this top face of the rectangle just here. Okay, so start a new 2D sketch and just click on this top face of the rectangle. That's going to flip your shape up around like this. We're going to draw 2 points. Okay, so you've got the point tool just here. We'll just click one just there and one somewhere over here. Doesn't matter where at the moment because we're going to dimension both of them. Okay, so we're going to dimension from the left edge. That point needs to be 22 mil, and then from the bottom up to that point needs to be 22 mil. Same again on the other side. From there to there, 22. From the base to the point, we'll make that 22. Okay, so that's how we've dimensioned those points. Once you've got that, finish up the sketch. Okay, and the next thing we're going to do is drill a couple of holes through those points. Alright, so we've got this hole tool up the top that you can click on. Okay, and with hole you can see that it's already selected those 2 points, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so our hole is going to be 10 mil in depth. We've got this first option selected. What have we got over here? We've got this first option over here selected. And the termination should be through all, so it's going all the way through our shape. Everything's looking good, so we'll click OK. And we've now got those holes drilled through our base. Okay, that's how it's looking there now. So that is almost us done. I think we might just smooth out the edges of this rectangle over here. Okay, so we'll just fillet those edges. So grab your fillet tool up the top here. The radius for this is going to be 13 millimeters. Okay, and you'll just have to click back on this blue writing and click on that edge and click on that edge. That's just smoothing out those 2 edges. When you're happy with that, click on OK. And we've now got our CI support shape all done. Okay, so to finish off now, I'm just going to go up to my appearance panel and you can just choose some sort of texture to whack over the top of it. So click and drag over the top of it. Let's pick steel polished. Hey, let's try that. Hit the little up arrow. That'll give us a polished steel look. Yeah, that looks fine. So I'll close that off. If you want to get rid of the little black lines that show the edges around your shape, just go up to the view option here and change the visual style to realistic. And that makes it look a little bit nicer. So that's your CI support shape all done. Okay, save that up and I'll see you in the next video.